But as we kind of come home here, Romans 11 forces us to ask this question: how do I then show up as a believer when people who should be showing up as believers are not showing up like believers? Ooh. Because in the passage, he's essentially saying, don't waste your time tweeting about how so-called believers ain't acting like believers. Don't waste your time Facebooking all the problems with other Christians when you have an opportunity to still be Christian. I'm gonna find your social media platform, just stay with me. Don't be Instagramming and don't be TikToking about how everyone else is not showing up. You just concern yourself with how God has called you to show up. God needs an authentic witness in the earth. Ricky, I bought it. I'm with you. What do? I'm glad you asked. I think it's 3 things we need to do, Bayside. Is remember that even in this, God has a plan. Even in this, God has a plan. Would y'all just look at me? Because I want to pastor you tonight. I want to love on you tonight in the love of Jesus. Because some of you just need to hear this. You may not even hear what's next. You just needed to hear this. Y'all looking at me? Okay? Eye contact and meaningful conversation. Here it comes. God knows what he's doing. God knows what he's doing. God knows what he's doing. I lost my glasses today, so I can't even see that there's people back there. But wherever you are, God knows what he's doing. Even in this, God has a plan. Somebody needed to hear this about monkeypox and COVID-19 and racial disparity and economic hard times and inflation and gas, $13 a gallon, and everything else that's going on in this. Folks, let me tell you something. This may be your first rodeo. It ain't God's. If God's been here before, you can get through what you got to get through because God's going to take us to what he's going to take us to. Somebody say amen up in here. Paul says, yes, Gentiles, this is a big surprise. The Jews rejected Jesus. But some of you are here today, you're dealing with your own shock, your own confusion, your own kind of disruption in your life. Here's 2 things that'll help you. Remember, God is never surprised when you're surprised. Amen? Everybody look this way. It may have shocked you. It didn't shock God. It may have startled you. It did not startle God. You know one word that God has never expressed in all of eternity? Here it is. Really? Can I get an amen? Like God has never said, what? Never. But Ricky is so hard right now. Ricky is so scary right now. Ricky, I'm about to give up right now. You don't think that in the last 2,000 years, God's people hadn't been in this predicament 100 times more than us? I'll come to tell you, he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And if he got them through that, he can get me through this. Somebody say amen. God is never surprised.